being said, she brought up that afternoon. I took her. She had to go to the hospital. I paid $285 out of my pocket for her to get some medicine for her liver. She was having some liver issues and has a problem. I took her to the hospital. I stood there and waited 2-3 hours. I dedicated my whole day on October the 16th, 2015, to her. She didn't go to work, but she was sick. I made sure she went and got some medication. That whole day was dedicated to her. She friended me on Facebook. I had a problem. I went off on her about that. I did not like that. She refriended me. But the old man kept telling her, in order for him to help her out anymore, she had to disassociate herself with me. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to do that. And it's not like she wanted to do it, but she was dosed up, and she had, and I don't want to talk ill of her, and I'm not going to talk ill of her, but she had a demon, and she was involved, and she would took this stuff, and she was dosed up in this stuff. Then, we had an argument over some frivolous BS, which I don't even remember what the argument was about. And so she went ahead and took my phone and did something with it. I don't know what she did or whatever. So she defriended herself off of Facebook, pissed me off or whatever. Then she went ahead. I told her, look, we got in an argument because I wouldn't get her to get any more of that stuff because I had to work. Now what it was, I had to work that evening, and she wanted me to do more things, and I couldn't do more things because I had to go to work. So she got upset with me, and so then I left her there and closed. So next thing I know, that night, I get a phone call from the Richmond PD, and they call me and tell me that there's a protective order that was made against me. I said, okay, from who? And they told me, and I said, what? So anyway, the two people I confided in was Angela and the guy named Jeremy Scott. So if he got that recording, I don't believe it was from Angela. I believe it's Jeremy Scott. He got that recorded and gave it to them. Probably that's what happened. And whatever the case might be, that was a situation where he put a protective order on me. It lasted 4 days. I went berserk. I went ape shit over it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And then later on, we went to court. I spent $1,000. I spent $1,000 on an attorney. We went to court. She never showed up. December the 1st, we never showed up. I put down there on Facebook that I wish and prayed for her to, pray for her to get back to reality. I prayed that she would snap out of it and get back to reality. And that was the time when she and I got out of it and weren't talking. Okay? So then that being said, she was there in doing all of that, and she was then she then came to me and called me and said, George, I'm sorry. I know you hate me. I know you hate me for doing this. I had to do something to appease Gary because Gary was giving me ultimatums. I said, why would you do that? Of all things. I said, I'm sorry. I figured I just won't show up, and that would drop it. But I spent $1,000 of my money to fight something that she never showed up on. Okay? So then a month later, she came back to me. And then she was with me again. So that is all a bunch of nothing. It's all about a bunch of fucking nothing.
So why did you threaten to blow up the synagogue?
I didn't threaten to do nothing of the such. That's a bunch of bullshit because I said something tongue-in-cheek to her about because the old man was Jewish. The old man was Jewish and all that. And I told her, why don't you come to me with church sometime? Why do you always have to go with him to that synagogue? I didn't know she was Jewish. I had no idea that she was Jewish. He would always say, well, I'm going to go with Gary to the synagogue. I said, why don't you come to me to church sometime? With me to church. I've always got to go to him to that synagogue. So that got transformed and twisted up or whatever. She twisted it up and told him that. I've never said that.
George, you understand that's a terrorist.
No, listen. I never said it. Period. And I don't need to discuss this. They're reaching. They are really fucking reaching.
But they're creating but no matter what you say, they're creating a very, very strong.
No, it is a very, very weak. Because the goddamn thing about it was he died in that old man's house, not with me. And if she was with me, she'd still be here. He's God in that old man's house. I had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with it. He's God in that old man's house. Period.
Well, George, that doesn't matter. But you understand that this really
matter. Does fucking matter. She had no contact with me for a month.
George, you understand this doesn't...
No, listen here. Because it doesn't fit your narrative, I'm sorry. I'm sorry it doesn't fit your narrative. I did nothing. And it doesn't fit their narrative. So the bottom line is, he was with that old man for months. If anybody's guilty of anything, it's that old man. Not me.
It just doesn't look good.
I don't give a goddamn what it looks like. It looks like a fucking witch hunt. I want that son of a bitch's head. And I'm going after that son of a bitch, Marty. I want that son of a bitch's fucking head on her swivel. And I'm going to go after that son of a bitch before it's all said and done. That son of a bitch is going to be fucking mutilated. And if he's in a high dignitary, we're going to find out what a high dignitary he is. We're going to find out exactly who that motherfucker is.
Coach, I've told you who he is. He's told you who he is. It's just never enough for you.
Okay. So, I'm sorry that's not your narrative.
It's not my narrative. It's the case that they're fucking building.
It is a case that has no standing. It's a case that there has no fucking standings and no nothing. It has nothing at all. It's something that doesn't have any teeth to it. It's something that happened 4 years ago. And it has no relation to her demise. So it has nothing to do with anything. So they can fucking particulate or try to manufacture something that was manufactured and paid for by some foreigner? Manufactured something that was paid for by some fucking foreigner? Yeah, that's going to be brought up in court also as they proceed. Everything that was given to me on this court will be brought up also too. So I don't think you have no goddamn fucking teeth to it. So now what do you like about that? No goddamn fucking teeth.
And I will testify as a witness for you, George.
You weren't there, so it doesn't matter what you do. You weren't there.
I can talk about the Discord stuff, George. They're allowed to have someone else pay for the attorneys. You know that, don't you?
That son of a bitch need not to be paid for the attorney. That son of a bitch paid for the attorney is unfounded. It will be proven that son of a bitch is connected to all this. Because his friend was sued about a couple years ago. He sued a couple years ago, so it will prove the fact that he's been stupid around, and it will prove that it has no fucking merit to it because that's the connection to this some of this. Now, I've said what I needed to say. I want to go now. Goodbye.
George, don't act like it. Hold on.
Continuously emails me.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said Brian Whalen, that is, keeps emailing me. I told him to cease communication. If he continues emails me with stuff, I'm going to go after him and sue him for stalking and harassment. Now, so
I mean, George, why don't you just get out in front of this? Like, that's why Joe Biden's losing the election. These allegations he can't respond to.
Because they're frivolous. They're frivolous. That's why. And then it doesn't hold any merit. That's why he's fucking leading the damn election. I don't know what news you get from. He's leading the fucking election right now.
George, you're going to sue the brother of your dead girlfriend. Do you not have any idea how that will make you look?
If he continuously harasses me, I will sue him.
But George, he intends to sue you. It's protected under litigation.
I will cut him to the quick. Because what he's doing is unfounded, manufactured by some foreigner that has connections to a lawsuit to a friend that came interfered in that lawsuit. It's non-founded. It has no fight. It doesn't hold any ground. Hold any water, hold any ground. Because that guy was associated to the other lawsuit, giving and following other shit. So the connection, and we got proof of it all through all these videos and stuff that he's been doing on the internet. So that's not holding any teeth, and that's not holding any teeth. And a juror is going to see that, and they're going to see that basically it needs to be thrown out of court because it has the whole program. And adding to all that, even playing devil's advocate, saying that it holds anything, the devil's advocate, saying that it holds anything. We're talking about 5 years. So there's a statute of limitation. There's nothing, no foundation, no nothing. And adding to that, she died because she did something, she overdosed. She died because she overdosed. That's why she died. That's
but
why
they're
died.
claiming they're claiming she overdosed. They're claiming she overdosed to get away from you.
She was away from me for a few months. That was a bunch of bullshit.
But she didn't go get a protective order against the old Jew, did she?
She blocked over, but it never fucking went anywhere. You damn numbskull.
She didn't go
and never fucking went anywhere. And there was not a 2 year. Shut up. There wasn't a 2 year holding on me. It was a fucking 4 days thing that fucking dissipated. And she had no intentions of going back, but she did wrong.
But her affidavit is admissible, George, whether I suck it or not.
That fucking thing doesn't say shit.
Have you ever?
For 4 days, and she knew that she did wrong, and she didn't pursue with it, so there was nothing that was done. Something was done. A 4 day thing, and then it was done, and there was no record of it. It was nothing else that was done to it.
That's the most a magistrate judge can issue in Virginia, George.
That was it. And it went to court, and she never showed up.
Okay, but her affidavit
never showed up. And her answer to that was, I figured I just won't show up because I know that I did wrong, and I know that I did something I shouldn't have done because I was drugged up. That's what she told me.
Well,
so
George, the narrative. Why do you keep telling me to suck things, George? The narrative.
Because you are very much involved with this shit, and I'm not being segregated by a pedophile. I'm not being segregated by a fucking pedophile because I'm doing nothing. I'm a law-abiding citizen.
As much as I've tried to help you, George, the narrative the goons will spell out is that you.
I don't give a goddamn. They have no credibility.
Obviously,
those motherfuckers have no fucking credibility.
George, they've got phone calls. They've got phone calls, Gigi.